anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
A new emotion.
Oh, I'm sorry. We wanted to make such a good first impression.
What do you mean, we?
I'm Envy. Oh, look at your hair.
Oh, yeah, not happening.
That's on we.
On what?
It's what you would call the bar down.
What's your name, big fella?
That's embarrassment.
Welcome to headquarters, embarrassment. Oh, we're doing a fit. No. Oh, nope, going high. Oh, you got a real sweaty palm there, buddy.
Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. I just got done seeing the new Pixar film, Inside Out 2, which of course is the sequel to Inside Out from 2015, which I feel like most people's opinion is one of Pixar's best movies, actually. Aside from their golden age, obviously, their first batch of movies they made up until Cars, which a lot of people don't like Cars. I love Cars, you know, I feel like that was the last of the golden age, in my opinion. Everything else since has either been, you know, good to okay to, you know, some movies not good, like Cars 2, you know, Cars 3. Not trying to hate on Cars, like I said, I love the first movie. But Pixar, of course, like I mentioned, has had, like, kind of a weird track record, you know, in their later years, and I'm happy to say this movie, at least in my opinion, I wouldn't say it's, like, up there with, like, the golden age, but it's still, this is a very good movie. Like, I didn't have really any major problems with it. My best comparison I can make with this is, like, Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2, okay? So, like, Inside Out, for me, the first one was a 10 out of 10. I loved it. All the emotions were there, no pun intended, you know, all the stuff with Bing Bong, obviously. I was wondering if this movie would have a scene that would top that, but it didn't, you know. In my opinion, it didn't, because that's pretty hard to top in terms of emotion. You guys know what I mean if you saw the first Inside Out. The Bing Bong scene, yeah. But, what I'm trying to say is, if you liked Incredibles 2, I feel like that movie's kind of polarizing. Some people loved it, some people kind of just don't like it. I thought it was very good. I gave that one, like, I want to say, like, an 8.5, maybe, at the time. It's been a while since I watched it. But, that's what this is to me. This is, like, an 8.5, maybe, like, compared to the first movie, you know? But this movie does give you everything you want, like, in terms of, like, world building, you know, inside of Riley's mind. So in this film, she's, you know, 13 now, she's a teenager, and she hits puberty. And once she hits puberty, she gets all these new emotions. Now, first thing I want to say, actually, I don't know if this is silly or not, but, like, my first thought going into this movie is, like, okay, there's these new emotions. Where were these other emotions in the parents' heads, you know, in the first movie? The movie answers that question, so don't worry. That might sound silly, but that was literally, like, what I was, like, most, like, confused about. I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they weren't there in the first movie in the parents, and they're obviously older, you know. But the movie explains it, so don't worry. And there's also, by the way, I gotta mention this, there's an after-credit scene. A lot of people left the theater. I stayed because I feel like, I don't think Pixar always does a post-credit scene, but I had a feeling they would. And it's actually kind of worth it to stay. But I'll just say this. The post-credit scene reveals something, and the reveal wasn't, like, that great. I was like, oh, yeah, that's an interesting thing to do in the post-credit scene. And then you find out the reveal of a certain thing, and you're like, oh, okay. I was expecting more, I guess. But anyway, yeah, don't miss the post-credit scene. So this movie, like I said, Riley's now a teenager. She's going through some changes, obviously. She's trying to join, like, this really cool hockey team. Her best friends are going to a different school, and she's trying to fit in with, like, the new cool kids and kind of putting her friends off to the side. And Anxiety, played by Maya Hawke, was very well done. You guys that watch my channel the past, it's been almost 9 months now. I've been dealing with anxiety quite a bit in my life because I got tinnitus, and if you guys don't know what tinnitus is, you can look it up. I have videos explaining my whole story. I developed tinnitus back in September at a concert, and it really, like, put me through a lot of different emotions. And my anxiety in the past 9 months has been higher than it's ever been in my life. So going into this movie, it was kind of weird for me because I'm like, man, this is kind of like perfect timing in a way because I'm really dealing with anxiety, you know, at the moment. It's not so bad to the point I'm having legit anxiety attacks. But there were a couple occasions, man, where I was really like going through it. But I can't say I've actually ever had a genuine anxiety attack, in my life. But yeah, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but I just wanted to point that out to you guys because, it kind of hit home for me. And at the end of the day, this is a kid's film, and the movie did a good job of like not overdoing it with the anxiety thing because, kids need to watch this. They don't want to be like, scared of it. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's part of life. Like, you do get scared, obviously, of like being anxious in certain situations and should I do this, should I do that, So I feel like the movie had a good balance of like not overdoing it to give like the adults watching the movie like me like bad flashbacks, you know what I mean, of anxiety and stuff and being, triggered, I guess. And also a good job of like not overwhelming children of this forthcoming emotion they're going to have in their life. So I think Pixar did a great job with that. There's other new emotions in the movie: embarrassment, envy, ennui or whatever, for boredom. I guess the official term for boredom is ennui or whatever. It's like French or something. I don't know, because I think the character's French. Again, Pixar knocks it out of the park with not only the character designs, but like the actual character, like the performance. The voice actors obviously do a great job, but like the way the characters are, they did a great job. And I gotta say, my other favorite main character in this movie is something I don't think it was in any of the trailers. There's a character called Pouchy. It's a minor character, but man, most of the laughs in this movie came from Pouchy, in my opinion. I was actually laughing out loud a couple times. So I did see this in IMAX just because I said why not. I pretty much go to like IMAX all the time now. It's like my new favorite thing. And this is a Pixar film, obviously, so it looked very nice. Of course, Pixar. For me, I haven't seen every Pixar movie. The only ones I missed were Lightyear, Elemental. Did another one come out? I can't remember. I know I missed those two, but I've seen all of them, And I remember specifically, like, when Toy Story 4 came out, how nice that movie looked. Like, it looked, like, photorealistic in parts. And we're going on 5 years now later, and, again, this movie looked incredible. Yeah, Pixar, again, 10 out of 10 in terms of animation, obviously, So, yeah. But the reason I'm giving this movie an 8.5, again, it's everything you want the sequel to do: expand upon the world, give you new characters and whatnot. I just felt like the plot of this one wasn't as strong as the last one. Sometimes simple is better. Again, the first Incredibles and the second Incredibles, perfect comparison for me with these two movies, is like the first Incredibles, like it's almost like a perfect movie, And I love Brad Bird. Obviously, he made those films. He made Ratatouille, also Iron Giant. One of my childhood favorites. But he did the same. He did Incredibles 2, his own movie. He made the sequel for it. So it's like, okay, you got the same guy doing it, but it came so late. It was, I don't know how many years later. 2018, and the first one was 2004, I think. So like almost 15 years. It was a very late movie. Maybe that's what it was. He kind of just lost the magic a little bit. I don't know. But it just wasn't as interesting. I guess I'll just say it like that. Like Incredibles 2 and Inside Out 2 were not as interesting as the first movie in either series. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But this movie wasn't bad. Like I said, an 8.5 is a great score. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like they did a great job with all the characters. Some of them didn't really, some of the emotions, the new ones, didn't really get to shine. Anxiety's pretty much like the main new character in this one. And again, they did a great job. The emotions, no pun intended again, were there. I did get teary-eyed a couple times, but I did not cry. So, but this movie, again, it's still very good, So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I feel like this movie's going to do very well. My theater was packed. I did see this kind of late, actually. I was busy earlier. Normally I see movies early in the day or whatever, but, I went to an 8 o'clock showing, and the theater, it was an IMAX auditorium, and it was pretty much packed. So that's pretty good. So yeah, again, very good movie, 8.5. Definitely go check it out, I'm not going to do a spoiler section, really, because I don't think there's anything really, groundbreaking to talk about, I guess. But yeah, definitely go check it out. I don't think I have much else to say. Again, all the performances were good. I gotta say too, Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling were definitely missed in this. They got Tony Hale to voice Fear instead, and again, the voices just don't match at all. Like, I kind of understood, okay, Tony Hale, that makes sense, you know? Like, when you first hear that, like, okay, he's playing Fear now, that makes sense. But then when you see it in the movie, it's like, okay, the voices don't really match perfectly. But again, it is what it is. Pixar's had to recast people before, obviously. And I feel like the girl that played Disgust, I don't know who it was, I didn't pay attention to the credits, but she did a good job, you know. They felt like the same characters. It's just Tony Hill does not sound like Bill Hader, really, you know. But they have that same kind of energy, so I guess it worked. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't come back. I think it was like they were busy with other things probably, or I don't know. But yeah, that's really about it. Let me know which one you liked better, this or the original. I'm sure everyone's going to say the original, obviously. You don't have to put your Pixar ranking in the comments or anything like that, because it would be too long, but, you know, if you want to put, like, your top 5 or whatever, top 10. I think Inside Out's in my top 10, I'm not sure. Just go check out my Letterboxd. I'm going to update that list, you know, with this movie. But yeah, and I still need to watch Lightyear and Elemental. I know a lot of people said Lightyear wasn't good. I think Elemental's decent, apparently. Excuse me. So... But yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to remember if there's anything I'm missing here. Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one. Bye-bye.